Hello, I am Stacie with Stacie Joy Yoga, and welcome to this gentle yin practice that is designed to help replenish you, whether you're feeling tired, you've had a lot going on, or you feel a little bit of this winter. I'm filming this in the winter, you feel some of that winter sluggishness come in. So we'll begin. We'll start seated. You can find a blanket, 2 blocks. If you don't have 2 blocks, maybe books, but they are not a necessity for this practice. So let's begin. So as we start our yin practice, we're going to begin with butterfly pose. That is where the soles of the feet come together. If you want to find a little bit of massage here at the base of your big toe mount, you can do that. I like to do that because it just right away lets me connect my mind to my body, feeling my feet. And you can adjust the intensity of this practice by pulling the heels in towards you. You get more of an inner thigh stretch. And as you pull them out away from you, you might get more lengthening in your back and some more stretch in the outer hip. So you always change and alter this pose for what you need. I don't want you stuck in a pose that I'm doing because your body is totally different than mine. So feel that freedom. I like to take blocks if I have sensitive knees or very tight hips, and I just place them underneath my knees. It can feel good too to sit up on a blanket here. I should have said that before. You can set it underneath your hips so that your pelvis finds this roll off the blanket, supporting your forward fold. Here in yin, you can round down, letting your head drop, chin drop. Just be sure that you can still get a good inhale and exhale in. You're not collapsing into your chest. You want to ease the breath. And we hold for time. There is a little bit of a side note. I've had a lot of sciatica in my past, and so I've learned when that's activated, if you have sciatica pain, don't fold forward. Come down on your back and just lay all the way down, letting the legs lay open. You'll get the same benefit. We'll practice, I'll show here in the forward fold. And yin, we have 3 principles. We find our edge, so you want to find a place where you feel good sensation in the body, stretching in the hips or your back, wherever you're feeling this, but that sensation is not too strong, that you can settle into this and be still in the pose. So maybe you need to fidget around until you know, hey, I can hold this pose, I can be still. And you can invite right here by breathing in an intention to be willing to be still, to surrender and let the muscles go. A lot of times we want to hold ourselves upright. See what you can do to release them. If it is hard to feel that release, just tighten up maybe your back, your glutes, and then dramatically release them and drop down. Is also the mental surrender here. I'll give you a few tools as we practice for your mind to have a bone to chew on as you hold still. But give yourself the permission to relax here. And then we hold for time. Giving the muscles, giving your ligaments the space, giving your fascia the space and time. It needs to lengthen, to stretch, to release. I always say the first minute of your pose, your body is just getting used to the shape. What are you doing to me? And then it figures it out. And then you release and you settle in. We're here about 1 more minute. Find your breath wherever it is. Maybe you feel where you massage your feet, it's a little easier to direct your attention as you feel the big toe mounts pressing in towards each other, both your right and your left foot. separate feet. And then maybe in your mind's eye, you just kind of mush them together so it just feels like one sensation here. The right blends into left and left blends into right. Settle in for 3 new rounds of breath. In through the nose, out through nose. Begin to activate your core to support your spine. As you breathe in, lift up. You can press your hands in the center of you to rise up, taking your time. Use your palms to bring your knees back in the center, and then send your fingers behind you, fingers pointing towards your hips. Find a little bit of a windshield wiper here. Being gentle. If you want to just be still here, send your legs long. You can do that as well. And you can watch how that pose slowly moves out of your body. Because we held for time, it takes longer. And you can feel it for more time after you've moved out. Okay, good. So child's pose is our next shape. You'll send your hands forward. Your knees go wide, toes together. You want a little bit of a soft landing for your forehead. Just stack that blanket up and you put your forehead on it so the nose falls off the edge. You can see here, you put your blocks off to the side. Knees wide, arms gently forward, maybe elbows bent so that you just have a nice soft child's pose here. And you get to almost settle in, push your hips back to your heels for just a moment and then release. And draw your attention through your body. Notice if your quads are trying to hold on. See what you can do to release. Maybe your right shoulder is trying to sneak up to the right ear. Send it away from the ear. And your left shoulder, soften it down the back. If stillness is just wonderful to you, you can tune my voice out. But if you're feeling just a little bit of energy running through your body, you can press into your thumbs, both your right and left. Feel the pressure build as you press them down to the mat. And then press in the pointer finger, middle, ring, and pinky finger. Press all 5 fingers of your right hand down to the mat. Feel sensation build there, pooling in your right palm. Release that pressure and pressurize your left hand. All 5 fingertips of the left hand pressing down into your mat. Energy in your left palm, and then release. Find the stillness, find the ability to surrender to the floor. And send your breath to where you feel the sensation strongest. We'll each feel it differently in our bodies. Some will feel it mostly in the spine, some in the hips, some in the knees. If you feel pain in your knees, move out. Otherwise, hold with me another minute. I found that if I bring my palms together here, we're going to start moving out. You activate your core. Lift your hips, but keep your forehead on the mat and find a very gentle rocking here onto more to the top of your head, or if you don't want to go that far, just very small movement, and exhale, send your hips back, rock back onto your forehead. If you have any cervical issues here in your neck, please just hold child's pose for a little bit longer. Protect your neck. But if you're moving with me, just feel that pressure. Almost as if it's a container for all the thoughts for your brain. You're almost massaging your brain here. And research has found if you can feel a little bit of that pressure as you invert here towards the front of the head, that really helps support depression. More towards the crown of the head to the back supports anxiety. We all fluctuate between those two. Okay. One more time. And come back down. Each of us, if you're rolling the crown or not, comes up to a seated position here. You're going to take your legs out in front of you. Ooh, maybe send a little life back. Tap, 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 tap. And then come to seated. Here is where an acupuncture point is called B2, the bladder meridian here. And you're just going to send your thumbs right here. There's a little divot where your eyebrows come together towards here. And you can just massage, roll, press, and release, press, and release just for a moment. This supports headaches too, if you feel like you want to incorporate this into your daily life. And then release. We'll begin to find half dragonfly. This pose, I always like to sit on a blanket. You don't have to, you do what you need. And you roll off the edge if you're on the blanket, setting your right leg long, and you send the sole of your left foot in towards that right thigh. Left knee is soft and out to the side. Taking an inhale, tense your fingers on the mat, rotate your torso overly, and what you do is just send your heart up, forward, and down. You can round in again, just like I said before. You can round in yin postures a lot of times in other yoga flows. You want that really long spine. We want to invite that in, but you invite this chest forward so you maintain the space for the lungs to breathe, and then you fold forward, keeping space, keeping your breath flowing in and flowing out. And here. Fidget around until you can find the edge where you surrender and you hold for time. If you want to invite a visualization for your breath here, you can imagine your inhale moving from your right heel up the right leg to your low back. And as you exhale, that breath goes up the spine and rolls off the crown of the head. Inhaling, heel to seat. Exhaling, seat rolling off crown of the head. It's as if you have an oval of breath moving in and moving out. Try to surrender for 3 more rounds of breath here. to rise out. Press your right leg, press your left knee down into the mat. Draw your abdominal muscles in towards your spine. Lift up. Your chin will be the last to rise. And just gently let it lift up to the ceiling and draw it back towards you. Send your hands behind you. Take your legs long. You lean back on your hands and you hold for a few rounds of breath. And invite just a sensation seeking. So you're going to see, hey, does my right leg feel like there's some new energy in it? The one that was long compared to the other side. Maybe that feels like vibrancy. Maybe it feels like sparkling water bubbles moving through your leg. Whatever it is that you can feel. And then we get to move to the other side. So your left leg will be long. Move around on your seat until you're comfortable on both sit bones, right and left. Sole of your right foot comes into left leg. Inhale, arms lift, chest lifts forward, up, and then down. Remember, keep that expansion of your chest here. Folding over. I didn't mention this on the other side, but you can always take your blocks, stacking them one on top of the other, setting your forehead down, if that would help you hold the pose. Our blocks are our best friends in yin. You will find them at every yin practice I do all around me. Holding for time. If you want to invite that breath visualization in, you breathe from your left heel, left hip, left seat. And you exhale, let the breath roll over the spine and down the crown of your head. And obviously we're not breathing up the leg, it's just sending the breath there, using it to lengthen and using it to deepen the pose. Three full inhales and exhalations. Use your next inhale to press your legs into the floor, lift your chest away, palms maybe reach up, chin reaches up. And then exhale those hands back behind you. Send your right leg long. Close your eyes so you can feel a side to side difference here. Life back to the legs, replenishment of your energy. Good. Okay. Shavasana pose, your most nourishing pose of this whole practice. If you want to pause and hold your Shavasana for long, for time's sake. I'm going to leave you in Shavasana for the end of this practice. So send your feet out wide. Use that blanket under your head. You can even roll your neck side to side. Feel the two occipital points on the back of your neck, back of your head. Find the center point between. Let the head drop into your blanket or your mat. Tuck maybe your right shoulder under, then your left. Feel a lift in your heart space. Again, pause the video for a long held, nourishing Shavasana. Sending my palms together, thumbs to my third eye. Namaste.